Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and this is from Patreon subscriber Brendan, who gave me a dealer's choice to play whatever I want today. And I've chosen for you Naya Initiative. Calling it Naya, kind of generous, because Once Upon a Time is the only green card, and you usually don't spend mana on it. But with Mox Diamond and Lotus Petal, you conceivably could. The reason I wanted to showcase this deck is, number one, because I just haven't yet. I've played Mono White Initiative, I've put the Initiative effect into a bunch of random shells, but I haven't played a multicolored dedicated Initiative deck before. And the other reason is, I believe there's a good chance White Plume Adventurer will end up banned in this format. And once that happens, you're going to have to leave Mono White to get a critical mass of Initiative creatures. And this might be kind of the core shell once that happens and what we can expect Initiative to look like. If it stays relevant post White Plume Adventurer ban, it's going to have to look like a 3 or 4 color deck to get enough Initiative monsters in. There are still a number of Initiative creatures that aren't available on Magic Online. One of them is a green 4-drop that's actually really good. That would slot into this deck, and then you'd have 12 4-drop versions and 0 3-drop versions. But all that is a problem for another day. Right now, we are almost mono white, but we have the Once Upon a Times that are castable, and we have Caves of Chaos Adventurer as a 12th Initiative body. And I went with a list that has Chalice of the Void in the sideboard. That's one of the splits in the Initiative build options. You can either have Chalice main and Swords to Plowshares in the board, or Plow main and Chalice in the board. I wanted to go with a Plow main, because I've been running into the Initiative a lot, and this build is better suited for the mirror. There's not a whole lot to say about this deck or this list, and I guess Ephemerate is kind of interesting. I took this list from Red Off Goldfish. I have not innovated on this deck myself at all. Ephemerate's really cool. I assume that's for the removal heavy matchups or the mirror. You can take back the Initiative by force and kind of spam it. The rest of these are just, fast mana and creatures to shit out with them and ways to protect the Initiative once you have it. And that's the whole deck. Let's go do this thing. I'm on the play in round 1, and I don't believe this hand is good enough. The Mox Diamond doesn't get us to Seasoned Engineer. We'd need a Soul Land to go with it. Solitude would be nice, but if I've learned anything, you have to mulligan with decks like this. Yeah, this hand also sucks. There's just no fast mana at all, nor third mana. Okay, this one has turn 1 Anointed Peacekeeper, so I would need to draw a land to get the Seasoned Engineer into play. Could also just slow down. Ugh, I hate slowing down. Like if I bottom Solitude and Mox Diamond, I can plateau pass, and then turn 2 Peacekeeper, turn 3 Dungeoneer after Peacekeeper takes a look. I have to send 2 of these to the bottom. Yeah, I think I send the Mox. Does sending the Mox make sense? Well, yes, because I would have to bottom the land that enables the Mox if I keep the Mox. Or I could bottom Peacekeeper and just go in completely dead to Force of Will. I don't like doing that. I could have a turn 2 Seasoned Engineer, or I could turn 3 it with Protection. I'm going to do that version. Volcanic Island, Ponder. Okay. Looks like we're playing against some Delver. They did not shuffle. Ganjo's Seed of the Empire. Okay. Ready to die to Daze Wasteland. Let's go. Keep the peace here. Daze has occurred as predicted. It's not a Wasteland, though. That's a Delver. Delver can fly, which means I will lose the Initiative. Okay. This is actually pretty dope. Now I can play around Daze. Yeah, I'm going to play the White Plume rather than the Dungeoneer. White Plume dies to Bolt. They both get countered. And now they get to play the game of if Delver flips and they have Lightning Bolt, they have the initiative and I don't. Is that even worth fighting over? Force pitching Brainstorm. Delver flip revealing Daze, just what I want to see here. Oh, and they have Wasteland. Okay, we're super dead. It didn't come out stable enough here. And they've just had, 3 interactive spells. I don't need to keep playing this game. There are those in the comments who will say, you conceded too early, you could, their 4 cards could be blanks, and maybe they never draw another spell, and maybe you run perfect, and maybe normal distribution happens, and we can just go to game 2. I don't want to hear about it. Okay, Chalice of the Void is for this matchup. March of Otherworldly Light, Archon of Emeria. And Archon is really good against what they're trying to do as a deck. Have to make room for these chalices somewhere, and Swords of Plowshare is actually good too. It is weird how Chalice steps on what you want to be doing, which is removing their threats. But I could pivot Plow into March, which is a Plow you can cast with Chalice in play. And I can cut Archon, or do I cut Once Upon a Time? The Archon's still good. It's a flying blocker that makes their life really hard. Their mana base just truly doesn't function with an Archon in play. Okay, I'm going to shave 2 Once Upon a Times and my Plows and pivot onto this version of things. Okay, this is a turn 2 Archon, turn 3 Adventurer, both of which are protected by Cavern. I'm going to lead on Basic Mountain and just pass the turn. Opponent mull to 6. Thanks, I hate that. Archon can tangle with it though. Mox Diamond, get in there. Let's see if they have the 1000 IQ play to force that. They do not. Okay. I'm going to discard my basic planes. I'm going to be super soft to Wasteland this whole game anyway. Archon, get in there. Uncounterable Archon is on the stack. Delver doesn't flip. We're just in all kinds of business here. If it does, I have decisions to make. Okay, Delver didn't flip. Good news. Wasteland comes into play tapped. Unless they Lightning Bolt first. Okay, there's your spell for the turn. Love that. And they don't play a basic mountain normally, which means I'm safe from Lightning Bolt. A tapped Pluto Delta. Love it. Trying for my turn. Chalice of the Void. Maybe someday. But I'd like to be initiating first. I'm going to say human because Seasoned Dungeoneer and Anointed Peacekeeper are also that. Uncounterable Caves of Chaos Adventure. There is 1 basic land left in my deck for me to tutor for. And initiative. Get it. I'm going to leave Archon back. I don't really want to lose the initiative. If they flip Delver revealing Lightning Bolt, you got me, but then they're not bolting my bigger creature. Delver flipped revealing Pyrotechnics. Gnarly. Okay, they can kill one of my creatures here. I mean, maybe both. Oh god. Probably both. Oh no. Pyrotechnics, huh? Just ripping a free spell. That's also an instant. They don't even have to cast it now. That would have worked. I mean, last turn. That is certainly an out to what I'm trying to do here. This is the metagame we're living in, folks. Delver playing Pyrotechnics. Shooted up the basic island. I hope they have 0 red cards. Ugh, that's a bad thing to hope for. 0 red cards in the 7 cards they're looking at. And they're cracking a fetch land now. Is it a creature? Is it just a lightning bolt saving your Pyrotechnics for later? PRC, okay. Seasoned Dungeoneer is a great draw. Now, even if they Pyrotechnic me, I can still get the initiative back. Alright, I got the attack, which means I get the flip, which is card advantage that they didn't have to give me. Makes me feel like they're not trying to Pyrotechnics this turn. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, I don't know. Okay. Pyrotechnics pitching Meltdown. Who got it? Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can Anointed Peacekeeper and Chalice, and then Seasoned Dungeoneer next turn, but they get to forge one of their creatures in the meantime. But I'm just going to lose the initiative anyway, and they have multiple flyers. I'm going to try to get in here with the Peacekeeper. Ponder and Force of Will. Okay. I'm going to name Ponder. Oh wait, no, I'm going to name Force of Will, because I'm about to turn off the Ponder anyway. Was the whole line that I just took. Chalice on 1. Okay, they're out of important spells in their hand, but they are ahead on important metrics, including attacking me for lots of damage. They can spew off their Ponder into the Chalice to try to get Delirium. They would need a creature or artifact. They have land, instant, sorcery already. If they can't get Delirium, life is so much better. Taking 5 from Delver. Okay, I'm going to attack first, because if I can take the initiative, I can get 2 triggers in a turn cycle. I think swinging for 2 initiative triggers, does that matter? Like, I could have explored here. Maybe exploring is better. But I have to go into the Lost Well and try to find an answer to this Delver. Lost Well, Scry 2. Iganjo works. Does it work? Yes, it's a 5/4. I'm going to take 10 this turn, go to 2, and then Iganjo gets me out of this. Bottom Peacekeeper. Oh, wait. I should top because I'm going to explore next turn. And exploring gets me the Iganjo in my hand. I just need them to not come up with 2 more damage before they're dead. Okay, here we go. Taking 5 from Delver, 5 from Trap. I'm at 2. Can't cast this ancient, or can't tap this Ancient Tomb in my hand. I can smash for damage. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I can Anointed Peacekeeper first. Let's see what's cooking over there. Oh, then if I do this, I lose to Wasteland. Unacceptable. But I'm just going to attack with my creatures. Iganjo's in my hand. And they know that. They've seen it. It's face up. They're taking 1,000,000. I think I actually want to goad Delver. Oh, wait. I can get the treasure. Yeah, I can go into Stash. Okay. Yeah, the treasure gets me the mana to play the Anointed Peacekeeper here. And be playing around Wasteland. There we go. Figured it out. 2 Lightning Bolts, Force of Will. Okay, well. We've seen Meltdown. We have not seen Brazen Borrower. I think I'm going to name Petty Theft. Okay. I have named Petty Theft. So if they draw Brazen Borrower, it's not going to get them out of this. They have Meltdown. They got me. They pitched 1 already. Okay, they're making their attack. Will deal 4 to the Delver. Did they draw Murktide Regent? Nope. Seems they have nothing. I get a Spooky Skeleton. City of Traders for turn. Attack for a Gajillion. I'm going to Dungeoneer onto one of the Peacekeepers. Put Peacekeeper into my graveyard. It just gives me a second X4. Not that it matters, because if this Lightning Bolt gets unlocked, they're just going face. But it does give me a second X4. One of us is dead here. They can clear Chalice and light me up, or they cannot. They would have done that last turn if they had it. They're bobbling me. This is just one of the 10 cards that's about to be flipped off the throne. Bobble trigger. And they're done. Okay. The Chalice won me that game. Absolutely. We're just dead to what we can see without Chalice. Do I want my plows in here too? They're a non-bow with Chalice, but they do take the early pressure off if I'm not chalicing quickly. Like, I could just bring in 2 plows over these last 2 Once Upon a Times. Unlicensed Hearse also has text in this matchup, but not against Delver of Secrets, which is a card I'm deeply concerned about. Right, I'm going in with 2 plows. Okay, I have turn 1 Chalice or turn 1 Adventurer. I'm going to keep. His hand is soft to Wasteland, but we added a whole color to this deck that was already kind of soft to Wasteland. Makes sense that we're extra soft. Opponent's on a mull to 6, and they do have a creature. The Lotus Petal lets me play around Daze while also powering out the White Plume next turn. I'm going for a Chalice now. Okay, Chalice is in there. No Wasteland, no problem. Okay, they don't have the Wasteland. They didn't attack. Not interested. Don't want that 1 point. Okay. That's fun. Okay, I think I'm just caverning on human here. Using the Lotus Petal gets Seasoned Dungeoneer pumping. Like the exploring and stuff. I mean, the exploring versus flipping off Caves of Chaos Adventure are interesting calculation there. But having the bigger butt versus the deck with burn spells, I like that. Okay, we're just trying to get Delirium here frantically. Getting Unholy Heats left and right. I kept a white card in my hand for Solitude. It can currently daze my Solitude. I want to respect that a little bit. 2 card types in the graveyard. Lightning Bolt's another one. Or not another one, but they get another Surveil. Seen Mishra's Wobble, they do have that. Okay, creature gives them 3 card types. Alright, don't get there. No bobble, no bobble, no bobble. Oh, Murktide Regent also is a card they could play here. I have the Solitude for that. Kinda. There's Murktide. Do I want a Forge or a Lost Well? And I race this. I have to decide here. I think I want a Lost Well. If I get stable versus their 2 cards, they're going to have a hard time catching up. If there's just a plow in my top 2 cards. Another Solitude is interesting. Bottom Mox Diamond, top Solitude. Draw for turn. I have this Protection from Creatures creature. I'm going to pitch White Plume Adventurer to Solitude and see if this works first. If they have Force Blue card in their hand, all right, cool. Cleared out the Murktide, which means that I can dash with impunity here because I have another uncounterable human. Get in there, Caves of Chaos Adventure. This puts me into the stash, or I could goad. Yeah, I actually want to goad the DRC. Just get this thing off the board. Has to attack next turn. And I'm going to start pushing for my damage here. Chalice of the Void into the graveyard. Don't need 2 of those. I think he'll have a hard time getting Delirium with 3 cards in hand and Chalice in play. But if I'm wrong, this thing was going to attack anyway. And now they're kind of forced. Cool. Block here. This Pyrotechnics would have cleared my blocker. But that doesn't really change anything. Okay. Dragon's Rage Channeler in the graveyard. We are still the initiative. Do I want to draw a card or get a skeleton? Draw a card. Not often you start in the Lost Well and end up drawing a card, as you don't frequently go through the arena. I'm going to attack first. He's in Dungeoneer, keep targeting itself. Flipped Caracas on exile. And Archon, which can go into the graveyard. Opponent's at 11. Here's Caracas, which gets me Anointed Peacekeeper. Let's have a look. What's going on over there? Nothing at all. Okay, just a little control game with red-white initiative. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. On the draw for round 2, and first test of Once Upon a Time, I'll keep my hand. If my top 6 cards have an initiative creature in there, I get the initiative. They were playing against some sort of Mountain Chrome Mox strategy. Oh, Red Stompy. Go away. Blood Moon, huh? Alright, I have Mox Diamond in my hand. That's not a huge deal. You got me, or something. It's going to be hard to turn 1 an initiative creature now, but turn 2 is still super live. I'm going to Once Upon a Time now, because I plan on playing the Mox. Okay, here's White Plume Adventure. I'll put that in my hand. And play Ancient Tomb. I'm trying to think if this deck can destroy a Mox Diamond. I sure hope not. Discard Basic Mountain. I want my Plow up in case they drop a threat this turn. And I don't want to get Chalice on zeroed or Trinisphered. Okay, yeah, I think I was correct to play around the things there that I did. And then old WPA coming in, which gets me the basic land, which keeps my initiative curve going. Bang. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this game. They could have their own Caves of Chaos adventure, but I also have one of those. 4 mana pass. All right, were they all in on the turn 1 Blood Moon? I don't think that's an outrageous thing to do. It's pretty strong, but didn't work out here. I'm going into the Forge. I got enough gas in the tank to keep bashing here. Attack first. Ooh, what's this? Soken's on. Okay. I want a chump block. Okay, cool. I'm going to Caves of Chaos Adventurer and go into the trap. Opponent's got 1 card in their hand and they're drawing wild. I have Solitude in mine with 2 blockers. I don't think they're going to take the initiative here. Yep, just a little, turn 1 Blood Moon with no follow-up against the deck that shrugged it off stuff. Yeah, this is one of the matchups where you're really glad Chalice is in the sideboard. Just completely dead. Where Plow is great. Do I even sideboard for this matchup? March of Otherworldly Light and Exile things. Artifact, Creature, and Enchantment. Those are all of the things in their deck. They have some Planeswalkers, I guess. Does their deck care about Archon of Emeria more than it cares about a removal spell? On the play, Archon is probably a little better because they are trying to double or triple spell to make things happen in their deck. March can exile a Trinisphere if I care about that, but I think just having more removal is reasonable. Oh yeah, they can Chalice on 0 if they want to, and I don't really get to do that. Having some answers to Chalice seems reasonable. Okay, this is the opposite of what my last hand was. My last hand was set up with the ramp and needed Once Upon a Time to pay off with the threat. How many soul lands are in the deck? It is the full 8. You can't get Mox Diamond with this. Mox Diamond's bad with it anyway. This hand loses to Blood Moon. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, that's more like it. Keep and bottom 1 of the City of Traders. This is a turn 2 giant initiative monster. If they figure out that they just drop a goblin and don't try to moon me, that's a real game plan. Okay, there you go. Looking for Solitude or Swords to Plowshares here. Or Mox Diamond. Alright, found Solitude. I'll take it. Not going to be mad about that. I'm going to drop the Petal in case they have a Trinisphere or Chalice on 0. I'm going to have to Solitude the Goblin before combat. Seasoned Dungeoneer. I get rid of that. And poke me for 1. If they don't have a follow-up, I'm stable. Okay, no lands. Ooh, Mox Diamond. I think I would rather Mox Diamond and Caracas than City of Traders. They both get me 4 mana. And then I get the next mana when I have the initiative here. I'm all in, though. I think we both are. Okay, go. Don't kill my creature. No! Got the Pyrotechnics. Alright. Yeah, 2 for 2 on opponents who played Pyrotechnics against me today. That card's stock is up pretty high. But I'm at 4 mana. I have 10 initiative monsters left in my deck. My opponent gets their 3rd land drop, which unlocks their whole deck here. And Fable. Okay, we're in trouble. Anointed Peacekeeper. Not great, but not nothing either. Okay. I have to name a spell here. I could name Reflection of Kiki Jiki for the inevitable. I could name Goblin Rabble Master. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, I'll name Rabble Master. Well, almost certainly discard this Chromox. Chromox in the garbage. They forged up their Goblin Shaman. It'll be interesting if they attack with this. God. A mirror that makes a copy of one of my creatures. Okay. Okay. This is just to land a turn, right? Okay. I will take my damage. And if I draw a removal spell, I get to be the Monarch again. Oh, what's up? Okay. We're actually playing this game. Swords to Plowshares, your Goblin. Attack, become the Monarch. Put a 5/5 in front of your 4/4. Or not the Monarch, whatever this is. This other fake mechanic. I have to forge. Has lost well. I just lose the or the initiative. Initiative. Drink every time I say Monarch. Here comes the reflection that I had the option to turn off, but went for the Rabble Master instead. Alright, they're dropping an ape. Making a plan for next turn. Okay, I don't think trap is meaningful in this game. Well, let's see. So if I attack here, they can double block in a variety of easy ways. Alright, I'm gonna arena and make the Goblin Shaman attack. It's probably doing that anyway, but let's just get it out of here. Turn of Souls. I should play this, but on what? Maybe I don't need to play it, but I'm drawing 2 cards next turn, maybe? No, I'm losing the initiative. I name Human. Alright, I'm just going to Cavern on Human and pass the turn. Yeah, so I lose the initiative. I take at least 4 here. Oh, they're still tapping mana. Magus of the Moon, sure. That's another creature. Oh, copying the Shaman, which arrives as a 2/2, because the +2 counters aren't copyable characteristics. I'm taking 2 here and going into the trap. And what are my good draws? Solitude, probably my best one. I'm at 3. Solitude would go a long way here. On deck. Look it up. Ganjo. That's not good. Or bad. They get to draw 2 cards this turn. Have that easy chump block. Yeah, the drawing 2 cards is pretty rough. And then they don't need to attack or do anything. It would actually be crazy to attack. Unless they think they can shove 3 damage through and leave themselves exposed. Oh god, they're going straight into the throne. I'm so dead. Yeah, they go into the throne. I'll at least look at the 10 cards in their deck here. Give me that information. Fury? Yeah, okay. Alright, we're good. Okay, I don't think this is an Ephemerate matchup, though. I mean, is it? If they're still mooning me, I don't think that's where I want to be. Ever pitch to Pyrotechnics or Fury and I get to Ephemerate, the game is over. But if I draw Ephemerate when I need a real spell, the game is also over. Yeah, I think having Once Upon a Time for the redundancy, that's the only card here that I would consider cutting. Yeah, I'm going in, and I'm not bringing my Archons in. I mentioned they might be better on the play, but I don't think they're better than any of the cards that are currently in the deck. Alright. I get to take a look with Peacekeeper, and then Dungeoneer. I'm gonna play Plateau and discard Plains, or play Plains, discard Plateau. Oh wait, no, I need to play City, right? Play City, discard Plateau. Keep the Peace. Fury, Fable, Magus, Rabble Master, Spirit Guide. I think I have to name Fury. Yeah, I'm gonna name Fury. I want that to hurt if you do it. They can turn 1 Magus in the Moon, a Fable, or a Rabble Master here. Going for Fable, sure. Okie dokie, Artichokies. Let's do it. It's battle time. City of Traders. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Dungeonizer. Do I need a basic mountain? No. Another Plains. If they moon me, I'll have plenty of mountains. Get to attack and explore here. Once Upon a Time into the graveyard. Okay, they can Fury this turn, but it'll cost all their mana to do it, and I'll still have a creature and still have the initiative. Discarded Rabble Master and Magus. Okay. They pay 2, pitch cast Fury, then also pitch cast Pyrotechnics. Or if they have a second Fury, those would all do the trick. Attacks coming in. I'm going to block with Dungeoneer because the Peacekeeper making Fury cost more might be the thing keeping me from getting obliterated here. Or maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. We'll find out shortly. There's a Chromox on the stack. Pitching the Fury. Anarchy. Destroy all white permanents. Cool. Okay. Those are gone, though I am still the initiative. Going into Lostwell. Okay, this one's kind of interesting because I can cast this Once Upon a Time, which is going to see way more cards than drawing a card. Okay, Hardcast Once Upon a Time is going to come up in a game. I'm going to drop my planes and pass, though. Once Upon a Time's an instant. I can roast the Fable if they don't do something scarier. Yikes, okay. That certainly qualifies. So you get to search up a mountain. You're probably not going to play right now because there's a city in play. Okay, end step Once Upon a Time. Save me. Once Upon a Time has delivered my own Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Now I have a choice. I can zap their Kiki Jiki now, or try to catch them doubling their Caves of Chaos Adventure on their turn, and I'm going to try to catch them. Ancient Tomb. Drop the Adventurer. I mean, goading the Reflection might force the play that I want. I've been doing a lot of goading, like way more than normal, or way more than I've ever seen anyone do before, which might be a mistake, or might be brilliant. I don't know. We'll find out together as this game moves forward. Because if they don't want to attack with Kiki Jiki, they have to copy Caves of Chaos Adventurer. And then we get this big tasty blowout. They thought they'd have 2. Instead, they have 0. Okay, walked them into that. Let's see if it pays off. They still have 5 mana they can spend this turn, but they appear to be spending none of it. All right, untapping with Solitude up is pretty big. Spooky Skeleton versus draw a card. I think I want the Skeleton. Just keeping the pressure up, making sure I don't lose the initiative. I'm drawing extra cards anyway off my Adventurer. Oh, there's a Dungeoneer. We're about to go into the Throne. Won't let me into my zone. Cavern on Human. 1, 2, 4. Okay, here comes the Throne. Yeah, I'll take a Solitude. Get rid of that Goblin. And pass a turn. Okay, Anarchy doesn't stabilize because I have a black creature and a red creature. I have to have some major piece of technology here. Anarchy is whatever. Kills 2 of my 4 creatures. And Caves of Chaos Adventurer is in full cast mode now. And I still have the initiative. 1 more basic in the deck. The perfect number. In for 9 and cast a spell for free, I hope. Okay, Anointed Peacekeeper, get that one for free. Opponents at 5. Keep the peace. Ooh, Fiery Confluence. I'll name that. Fiery Confluence. Not allowed. Not on my watch. And they have Fable. I'll save my March. I don't need to exile Chrome Mox. And we got through another one. 2-0. Keep it going.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the draw against Learn to Love 6, none other than Delver expert and Channel Fireball writer Rich Cowley. Also has guested on this stream at least once. You're gonna go check those videos, maybe twice. Knowing that my opponent's on Delver and having 3 removal spells in hand is tempting, but this hand also has the wrong basic and isn't going anywhere, isn't advancing its own plan, and is dead to Wasteland. I'm gonna mulligan this. That's more like it. The opponent kept 6. I'm also going to keep 6. I have to bottom a card here. And I would like to turn 1 a spell. And then what do I want to do after that? Because Mox Diamond, huge beating, taking 2 cards out of your hand. I could bottom the Mox and plan Plow, Peacekeeper, White Plume, and just get smeared by Wasteland and Daze. I could also bottom the City of Traders and just go all in on my 3 mana holding up. I'm on the draw. What does that do for me? Gives me a chance to rip a land. If I have a 3rd land in this hand, then everything makes sense. Mox Diamond's obviously the keep. Okay, I'm going to bottom Caracas. Though I think Mox Diamond is a strong contender. Let's see what shakes loose here. Oh, we've been betrayed. Looks like a little Death Shadow across the table. Also a Wasteland Daze deck. Alright, deck, land off the top. Any land at all. Got there. Never didn't have it. Ancient Tomb. Mox Diamond. Discarding the Plateau, because if they have Wasteland, I want to keep City of Traders around. I'm going to poke with Peacekeeper first. Wasteland, Ponder, Brainstorm, Baleful Strix. Okay. I could name Wasteland. Then I'm not worried about that for a little while. The Ponder and Brainstorm are tough. I could name Misty Rainforest and just sort of squeeze them. Maybe that's the one. I'm going to name Misty Rainforest. If they want to waste me, that means they have to play on one land for a while. And they have one Ponder to try to deliver an answer to White Bloom while they're taking beats. Okay, the Brainstorm does get rid of the Misty. That works too. It's the Wasteland, which means didn't get a shuffle. Finding Daze or Force of Will are both good for my opponent here. But I'm still going to execute the plan that I signed up for. If your Brainstorm hit, it did not. We're cooking. Now I get basic planes. And we're off to the races here. And the Mox Diamond now can discard this planes if I want to keep my City of Traders. That's a cool upside to Mox Diamond over Chrome Mox. Here's the Ponder. Clearly didn't find a different fetch land than Misty Rainforest in the Brainstorm, which is what he was hoping for. Watery Grave. Death Shadow. 1/1 Death Shadow. I believe I want to Forge here. Make my opponent dead. Forge onto White Bloom. Draw. Oh, Archon, what's up? Towards the Plowshares. Mox Diamond. Oh, he's just done. Doesn't even need to see more. Yeah, take 8 here, plus 5 next turn, and that is your life total. Done deal. Okay. Death Shadow is the name of the game. Chalice of the Void is something I want. Plow's great against this deck. Archon's great against this deck. But so is March. Now we're in that space of Plow is one of the best cards, and Chalice is also one of the best cards, and the best cards step on each other. And I can pitch Plow to Solitude. I could also shave on Plow a little bit. Shave on Plow, shave on Archon. And this deck just hits even harder than Delver does. Wondering if the Plow is where I want to be. It pitches to Solitude, it pitches to March, even when I can't cast it. And if they spend interaction dealing with my Chalice, it's interaction they don't have for Plow. Yeah, I think this is fine. Field uncounterable turn 1 White Bloom Adventure. I'll try it. Opponent is a Thoughtseize deck, which is slightly disturbing. Please don't Thoughtseize me. Okay. We're cooking, team. Oh, Chalice instead. Okay, change of plans. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal to play around Daze. I guess I can respect Force, or Spell Pierce here as well. Chalice on 1. That's in there. Did I just play into some Destroy All Artifacts card in blue-black that I don't know about? And Hymn to Turok hits here. 50-50. Yeah, that works. Good play, good play. Maybe should have sandbagged one of those Lotus Petals. And I'm still going to become the adventurer here. The adventurer. What do we do when I say just a totally made up thing? Cleric overlaps with more of the deck than Orc does. I will gain the initiative. I have a follow-up initiative spell for next turn. Even after getting, 3 for 1. Still playing this game. This is a Snuff Out deck. Snuff Out has shown up in the format in Elves, in Delver, as a way to combat the initiative on a cheap or free basis. And this is a deck that has always played Snuff Out. It's just the correct removal spell for what the deck's trying to do. Okay. Do I want to Forge or Lost Well? I think I want to Lost Well. My opponent likes when their life total is small. Oh my god. Okay. Top of both of these. Yeah, my opponent likes when their life total is small. And they might have been waiting on a Snuff Out for me to target this with Forge. Cavern on Human. Add to the pile up here. Uncounterable Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Let me go into the stash. Drawing Swords to Plowshares next turn. And I get to flip extra cards. I'm also going into the Throne of the Dead 3. Unless they take the initiative now somehow. I get to upkeep, Catacomb, Uncounterable, Caves of Chaos Adventure into the throne. And if I do that pre-combat, my Caves flip is free during attacks. A Brainstorm and a Misty Rainforest. Death Shadow is a 4/4. Another Death Shadow that's a 4/4. Swords to Plowshares, tough beat on that situation. I'll make the skeleton. Draw Swords to Plowshares. I'm gonna cast Swords to Plowshares, see if we're done here. And then I can make additional plays. Add the Force of Will, sure. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Solitude hit off the throne, does the same thing and can't be countered. They're all still in there. Bummer. Okay, didn't hit on that. Seasoned Dungeoneer sends me back into the top. Human Barbarian is none of the things that Seasoned Dungeoneer likes. Archon of Emir noise to Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper could see their hand, see what they're cooking with. So protection from creatures is pretty good. All right, I'm going to take the Dungeoneer and gas up my White Plume. My cards are free, so I can still flip Solitude off of this Caves of Chaos Adventure. And I'm going to stack it so I explore first. Okay, let's explore. Found White Plume Adventurer. I'm going to... Oh, he's just done. Doesn't want to wait for me to figure it out. Okay, cool. That was a kicking. That was the easiest one yet. On to the next round, still undefeated. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw for round 4 with a hand that casts Swords to Plowshares 3 times and doesn't do anything else. I'm going to mulligan this. Okay. This one doesn't do anything or doesn't deploy a monster till turn 3, but I am going to keep it because it's highly interactive up to that point. I kept the Ancient Tomb over the city. I'm not sure if that's right, but I don't think this Seasoned Dungeoneer is going to win the game on its own. An Ancient Tomb is stickier going long. Okay, now this hand really does something. Get to keep the piece, take a look, and curve my way up into Dungeoneer. Or Peacekeeper can pitch to Solitude in an emergency. But I don't think there's going to be that sort of emergency unless they're like, I don't know, blue-black Reanimator. I'm trying to think of a Flooded Strand deck where I would need to just emergency pitch Solitude on turn 1. Oh, they're a Yorion deck. I didn't even notice. Okay, they might be Cephalid Breakfast, which is a deck where I would need to emergency pitch Solitude on turn 2. Okay, I don't think I'm going to plow the Strix, even though it does affect me later. Okay, I could play around Daze here, so I might as well. Show me your secrets. Fairy Flicker was Gilded Drake, Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Kind of a weird hand. The Swords to Plowshares just removes my Peacekeeper. They have a Gilded Drake Flicker Wisp combo going here. It's going to name Teferi. Even if they answer my... Like if they plow my Peacekeeper, I'm still... They don't have 3 mana to cast a fairy this turn. It'll at least slow them down in some sort of way. Yeah, Gilded Drake, bounce Gilded Drake, Flicker Gilded Drake. You see what's going on here. And I don't like it. Gilded Drake, okay. Cool thing about Gilded Drake is if there's nothing to exchange, then nothing happens. Hope this works. Cool. Yeah, in the Magic rules, exchange. Okay, that was a good draw. It's a good trick. In the Magic rules, exchange means this object changes places with this object, and if there is no second object, then the exchange doesn't happen. Okay, I am still gonna leave Anointed Peacekeeper up. That Wasteland was really smart. I don't know if they tricked me into using Wasteland or if it just worked out that way, but taking me from 4 mana to 1 was a good turn. Okay, this looks like they're gonna Flicker Wisp their Baleful Strix and just keep their flying creatures coming. God, that Wasteland was so good. Okay, now I'm behind against multiple creatures and not sure what the path forward is. Okay, Lotus Petal, we're back in it, team. Protection from creatures, pretty solid. Are we in? Did you also draw Force of Will? Okay. Search out my last basic land. And this is a cleric. I'm going to attack, get pro creatures, and explore. Lord of City of Traders into my hand. That can hardcast Solitude next turn. Okay. They're going to get the initiative, which, if they play a basic land, will allow them to Swords of Plowshares plus Teferi clear the board. But I could replay the Dungeoneer. Just attacking with the 1. Get your basic. They do have a snow-covered island. I would be clearing the board here myself. Oh, Recruiter. Recruiting for Solitude might be even better. Yikes. Swords of Plowshare is in the main phase. I deleted the wrong thing. Okay. Well, yeah, this is a lot harder. This deck is causing troubles for me. I'm gonna attack, and before blocks, Solitude their Baleful Strix. If you're gonna Solitude me to protect the initiative, I want it to cost you 2 cards. Solitude pitched Teferi. Alrighty. We get to go into the Forge or the Lost Well here. Going into Lost Well. I'm impressed by this deck's ability to just grind me into goop over here. Oh, they topped both of the cards. That's good for me. Just like every card they saw. Matic Vista. If you use that, you lose the other card you just kept on top. White Plume Adventurer. Okay. That's actually pretty exciting. Oh, I'll go for it. Force of Will. Yep. Okay. Force of Will. And Solitude trades for Flicker Wisp. That's not a good deal for me, but neither is continuing to play this game in this current fashion. I guess I'll just pass the turn. They get a stash or a goad here. Into the stash. I think I'm the only person in Legacy who goads. I don't know, I'm sure initiative players do it all the time. I'm not one of those, though, and I've never had it done to me. Ironically, I played some Commander the other night where somebody had a dungeon deck, and goading was just the best thing you could do in that middle room. 1 mana and 5 damage don't matter that much in Commander, but sending a creature into another opponent, big deal. Okay, let's try this again. Arrakis, Gilded Drake, Yorion are the cards they have. Okay, I will... None of these are good. Luda Delta doesn't even stop them. And its opponents, so if they switch it for Gilded Drake, alright, I'll at least make Gilded Drake harder to do. And I'll try to trade Solitude for literally anything here, because they're both really good with Yorion. Okay, we're hanging out on the ground. They get a skeleton. If they Gilded Drake me, I do have a flying attacker. Brainstorm. Opponent's drawn good cards. Tracking the Delta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can Yorion here with Caracas up, which can recruit of the guard. If we're not winning this game, I just want to see more of their deck. At the very least, I'll see 10 cards out of the throne next turn. And I'll let them tutor first before I bounce Yorion, but I am bouncing Yorion. It's a big old blocker. Good chance they tutor up a Solitude here, and I'm giving them a white card to pitch, but I'm not getting through a 4/5 anyway. Soul Herder, okay. Alright, Yorion, get out. Come on, Seasoned Dungeoneer. Cavern of Souls. A life. This game is for sure not winnable, but let's look at what comes out of the throne here. Flicker Wisp, Meddling Mage, Charming Prince, Skyclave Apparition. Flicker Wisp. Okay. I'm good. This game is not winnable. I've got as much information as I'm going to get. Ah, that Wasteland. Okay. Archon of Emeria seems like it would be really rough against their mana base. Chalice of the Void. I don't think I need that. Ephemerate's really interesting. If they try to Gilded Drake me and I Ephemerate, but Ephemerate sucks against a Fairy Time Raveler. March doesn't hit Planeswalkers. Can't take them out there. They do have creatures worth killing with Swords to Plowshares. Solitude is reasonable. Maybe I just cut 2 Once Upon a Times, bring in 2 Archons, and try to just be brutal on the play. And I can figure out if I want to move pieces around, play Ephemerate or whatever on the draw. Okay, on the play, I have turn 2 White Plume Adventurer, which does not parlay into a turn 3 Seasoned Dungeoneer because of Lotus Petal's temporary nature. I think I'm going to keep this, though. They're a Force of Will deck. I gotta imagine I'm gonna need to get through twice. Cavern of Souls, best draw. Once Upon a Time. Oh, I haven't cast any spells yet. That's lucky. Look at me holding on to my Lotus Petal. Or Cavern in this pile. There is a City. And an Archon. And a Peacekeeper. City's interesting because it lets me Dungeoneer next turn. Or I could just slow down in general, play one of these lock pieces. I'm going to take the City and White Plume now. See if they can keep up with turn 2, turn 3 initiative creatures. Gotta assume they can answer at least one. Fetching in response. Emergency brainstorm. Emergency meeting. Okay. We demanded an awkward brainstorm and then also successfully gained the initiative. I'm going to get the basic mountain because there are red cards in my deck. We've seen Wasteland and I don't have any other source of red right now. I think if they couldn't answer this one, there's a good chance they can't answer the other. I mean, 2 mana is a lot more than 1. Dress Down's on. Gilded Drake. Okay. It doesn't give them the initiative. I think I got a Lost Well here. And bashing for 5 in the air is fun. But they're likely going to flicker or bounce this Gilded Drake. Yeah, I'm going to Lost Well. If I find Mox Diamond, I'm in business. Okay, this works too. So White Plume to the bottom, or land at the bottom, White Plume on top. This lets me hold up Swords to Plowshares and move further into the dungeon, which is what I was trying to do when I said Mox Diamond, the card I want. Move into the stash. Yeah, I guess the stash does that too. I'm not going to goad here, even though it's sweet. Yeah, untap Gilded Drake. And I'll just trade off Gilded Drake if they attack. I can plow Gilded Drake. They try to flicker it or bounce it. They play Teferi. That's a little bit annoying, but I'm still stable and have the initiative. Plowing my Adventurer. Got it. Charming Prince. Flickers something you own. Exile target creature you own. Okay. This resolves. I'm going to let them flicker the Drake because it dies. Okay. This dies if it can't make a trade. And I'm going to plow the White Plume and hope they don't have force. Okay. The Drake dies in the end step, which is still pretty good. I mean, they got rid of a 3/3 on my board, but at least it's not stealing creatures over and over. Spooky Skeleton in my upkeep. Seasoned Dungeoneer gets me into the throne. Mox Diamond. Yeah, I'll play that. Okay. You haven't had force yet. Don't have it now. We're in the throne. Seasoned Dungeoneers, Anointed Peacekeepers, and Solitude. I think I want Peacekeeper. I want to mess up their hand, know what they're up to. Brainstorm, Teferi. Do I even care about Teferi? I don't think so. Arming Prince. I'm going to name Brainstorm and really try to slow them down here. Okay, pass the turn. Can still cast Brainstorm, but it's all they're going to do this turn. Fairy bouncing my skeleton is a real removal spell, but then the rest of my squad just bashes. Yep, there's Teferi. You definitely don't want to bounce Seasoned Dungeoneer because then I get another initiative trigger. There is one basic land left in my deck. There it is. You have traders, whatever. Going to attack my opponent's life points directly. Attack you and attack you. I don't actually care about Teferi in this deck. I'm going to give Peacekeeper the bump. Another Seasoned Dungeoneer. I'll leave that on top of my deck. Okay, opponent is dead on board. And I could drop a land now because this city, I can replace the city, and this is a chance to get a land out of my hand. Send it. A Charming Prince can gain some life. That's not enough. Brainstorm costs 1 million. There's the Brainstorm. And they're dead. Okay. We got them. Now on the draw. Ephemerate. Exile target creature you control. Okay. You turn Once Upon a Times into Ephemerates. They're really bad against Teferi, but they're good against the whole Flicker Drake plan. We don't really like this plan, I'm not going to lie. Once Upon a Time changes the range of keepable hands, and Ephemerate introduces high risk, high reward to a game plan. If I ever flicker a Gilded Drake target, though, it kills the Gilded Drake because there's no exchange, and then also deeper in the dungeon. Ugh. March of Otherworldly Light is tempting. Because that kills creatures and stuffs Drake things. It does 2 things where Ephemerate only does 1. I think March is the right answer, but I'm still going to try the Ephemerate thing. Let's go. Not often you get paired against a dedicated Gilded Drake deck with Ephemerate in your sideboard. Uh-oh. Proof of concept. So my hand doesn't really do anything. Ice Cold to Wasteland. Get a mulligan. Okay, here we go. We're turn oneing stuff. Keep and put Lotus Petal on the bottom. Polluted Delta. That's fun. Mox Diamond. What do you think about this? I'll discard basic planes because if this works, I'm just going to get another one. Do I want to start on Archon and try to be disruptive? That does beat Wasteland. Now I'm going for Adventurer. Can present turn 1 and turn 2 initiative. Doing it. Tutor up a planes and send it. Okay, let's see if my Drake gets gilded here. Basic Island. Don't know how many of those they can really play. I hope this is Strix and not Drake. So Drake's also mostly fine. And we just both have 3/3s. Bibblethip the Lost, deal. I even have Caracas that can remove that. If that's somehow something I want to be doing. Initiative. I think I want a Lost Well. Caves of Chaos Adventurer. What's up, big guy? Bottom. I'm going to lead on the Dungeoneer, though. He's in Dungeoneer. This pushes damage through the Fibble. Do I want to goad Fibble? No, always the stash. And I get to explore and push damage here. Don't need to worry about blockers because White Bloom untaps itself. Alrighty. Caracas to clear Fibblethip and make a lethal attack is going to be the highlight of this league. Okay, what do we got? Recruiter. Recruiter can find Solitude at the minimum. Solitude confirmed. Oh no, they have 2 Solitudes. Solitude pitching Soul Herder. Unless they're playing around Ephemerate, or do you actually have 2 of these somehow? Okay, no, they were just clearing my good card before I untapped and did more stuff. But I'm in the throne pre-combat here. Get a skeleton. Archon of Emeria. Caves of Chaos Adventurer, pre-combat. Put me into the throne. In we go. There's Archon of Emeria and Solitude here. What do I think is better? I've been talking about the upside of Archon for like the whole game here. Yeah, I'm going to grab Archon. And attack for 3. Their creatures can't beat this, and it untaps itself. They only get 1 spell, so they can't cantrip. The Archon has hexproof, they can't remove it. Fetch lands are dead, dual lands are dead. They have to beat me with the 3 mana they have while only casting 1 spell a turn. Plague Engineer, that kills Skeleton, I guess. It's not nothing, it takes a 4/1 off the board. But like, it's pretty close to nothing. Initiative, back at the entrance. Grab the last basic. Oh god, I found the Ephemerate, folks. Well, let's see if that works. I only get 1 spell this turn. I will make my attack. I can Ephemerate on their turn. I'm not worried about having 1 spell on mine. Mox Diamond is definitely not my spell. Okay. I can trade this off. 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I could Ephemerate it. Then I'd be doing 10 damage. Don't lose my Caves of Chaos Adventurer. I could also Ephemerate something on their turn while adding to my board. Yeah, I think I'd rather just do that. Take your trample damage, go to 2, then play Caracas. No, they've seen the mountain. I'll play that. I'm not using anything else. And then Archon of Emeria, get in, backup, copy, and I can Ephemerate on their turn if I need to, if I care. Untap all my creatures because I've completed a dungeon. Okay, do you have a second basic land? You do? Okay. Supreme Verdict could stabilize here. They're at 1. They're actually just dead here, even if they have Supreme Verdict. Because I can Ephemerate my White Plume Adventurer now, go into Forge, and then in my upkeep, I go into Trap and they lose. They've already cast their spell for the turn, so I know this is going to work. Ephemerate White Plume. Oh, they've tapped mana. What a shame that I have 2 Archon of Emerias in play. Float a white, shame scoop. We did it. And we are about to play a trophy round. Let's roll. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the play in round 5. My opponent said in the chat, oh no, facing the end boss in round 1. It's your round 1. It's my round 5. Big stakes here. The basic mountain, the 1-up basic mountain, huge punish on this hand. I would keep the shit out of this with planes instead, but as it is, I got a mulligan. Another hand with no white mana. This is not something we've run into so far in the league, but coming up big right now. Okay. Keep this one. Gotta send 2 of these to the bottom. I think it's Mox Diamond, because that's another 2 cards. And I think it's Peacekeeper. I gotta just swing for the fences on these initiative creatures. Okay, let's go. Oh, my opponent's also on a mull to 5. I wonder if that changes anything. Like, am I supposed to keep the Peacekeeper and try to collapse a 5-card hand rather than execute my own plan? I don't think so. Good chance this is an initiative mirror, though. Get this thing early and often. I am initiated. Pick up the planes and send it. Okay, let's hope their 5-card hand isn't better than this. Urza Saga. Okay, is this Painter? Alright, just Urza Saga, go. That's a deal. I think I want to just kill them dead. Not often I get to turn 1 on the play, go down the rabbit hole here. I'm just going to do that. Take 5, play a 5-power creature, bang, 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 send it in. And if they are Painter, I have Swords to Plowshares. Okay, it's not Painter. Or it could be Painter. It could be a blue Painter deck. Less common, but still exists. I would honestly love if they just cast Painter right now. Then I would get to use my Plow and curve into Chaos Adventurer, where currently I'm only doing one of those things. Chalice on 1. Alright, well, I guess I'm not casting Plow anyway. Okie take 5. 5 upstairs. Okay. That's a good one. No reason to pre-combat here to see if they... Oh, I don't know what they would do here, but I'm going in. Okay, opponent's at 5. And Cavern on Human. Uncounterable Berserker Boy. I draw a card from the archive, and they are dead to multiple permanents, and I'm going into the throne on my turn. They have to kill me now, which they'd have to get Painter into play and Grindstone through their Chalice, which the Saga can do. I don't think 8-cast can beat me from this spot. They have to be a combo deck if they want to get out of this, I think. And I guess Lion's Eye Diamond is a card that could be an eject button from this spot for a deck, whether they're like Hull Breacher wheels. And they could wheel me and see what comes loose. Okay, Echoing Truth, the smaller creature. And Echo of Aeons it away. Okay. They didn't have the Narset to go with it. Do have a fresh 7. And they are spinning out here. I don't have a Solitude if they find a Hull Breacher. Okay, Emery did not hit a second thing. I'm going into the throne. Caves of Chaos Adventure to cast spells for free now. Solitude clears the Emery, but I already have Cavern on Human. Archon of Emeria is not a card they can win through. Okay, yeah, they're just conceding. They don't need me to make a decision here. All these cards win the game. Okay. They are Narset Wheels, which is a pretty stompy deck. Hull Breacher is good. March exiles Urza Saga straight up. They're probably going to board out their Chalices while I'm considering boarding mine in, because Chalice on 0 is huge against their deck, and I don't care at all. Or that's not even true. I have 8 0-mana artifacts in my deck. JK, I'm not bringing in Chalice of the Void. That was a close call. Archon and March both look really good against them. It's just the perennial loser here once upon a time. I want to execute my plan. I want to disrupt theirs. My deck right now is nothing but removal and initiative creatures and hate monsters. Sounds good to me. In the Macabres and the Hearse could slow down Emery. They don't really do anything against Echo. But I'm trying to beat Echo with other spells. like there's Archon of Emeria in my hand. I'm going to keep this hand. And they're certainly a Force of Will deck. Oh god, okay. I could Archon first. Yeah, I'm going to Archon first. Because if I get schmurdered, it's going to be by a combo, which Archon turns off. Right, we're in there on that. Mox Opal, Lotus Petal, whatever, is the end of the turn. A huge beating. Okay. Oh, that was a good draw. I'm going to Cavern on Cleric. That gets me the White Plume Adventurer or the Peacekeeper. I'm actually going to keep Peace here. Does that make any sense? No, I'm going to White Plume. I mean, the Peacekeeper is tempting, but I think if I end up getting my hand spun away somehow, just having the initiative versus not is a big deal. Archon, make it happen. Okay. They pass the turn telegraphing Hull Breacher. I think I'm going to Lost Well here. Just dig for Solitude. Ancient Tomb, actually insane here. Bottom, top. And I will absolutely offer the trade with a Hull Breacher with White Plume. Ancient Tomb, uncounterable Cleric. Let's get a look at that hand. If I get my Hull Breached, at least I'll see it come in here. Yep, there's the Hull Breacher. If they have Days Undoing, I can freeze that. It is Echo. Also 2 Karns and a City of Traders in this hand. Echo of Eons, I could just tap them out to do it, but they only got 1 spell a turn anyway. I'm losing my whole hand. How do I make that the least relevant? I think I want to name Karn. Yeah, if they end up with a gajillion mana and can do whatever they want, Karn is a scary card that can win the game under those conditions. Like once they do that, it's going to happen this turn. But I just got to block them out with Archon and slide forward. There's the Echo. My hand is gone. Might be another Goad game. Goad the Hull Breacher. Good chance they block it anyway. What happens if I Goad Hull Breacher? They may have just drawn another copy, so that doesn't even matter. If they have Karn going into the stash, doesn't matter. I might... Oh, I can't draw extra cards anyway, so no reason to work my way across the dungeon. Yeah, I'm just going to go into the stash. Yeah, I'm just going to offer big trades here anyway. In with everything. One has Vigilance, one has Flying. One untaps itself, so pseudo-Vigilance. Archon is the one that I'm worried about staying in play. They're trading off with a White Plume. I guess they play a second Hull Breacher and channel Otawara. They could do something here. Something's happening. Yep, there's a Breacher. There's a Saga's on now. My Flyer's got to do the work. One wheel tends to beget another. They might just spin another turn here. Okay, that's your spell for the turn. Not bad. I have a flying creature. So I have to be mildly concerned about Shadow Spear. Okay, I would very much like to draw an untapped white source now, or a white card. Just turn on Solitude in some way here. Okay. Solitude is on in some way, confirmed. Attack with my Archon. Get a 6, and I'm just going to hold up Solitude. Could play a second Archon, but that doesn't do anything. I just really want to be in the Throne of the Dead 3 next turn. Making a Construct, no surprise there. They had to spend 2 treasures to do it, making it smaller. Good deal. Let's see if there is a Shadow Spear here. And if they just go to combat and have Force in their hand, they can stop me from going into the throne, but then all their creatures are tapped. This is tight. Even if they have a perfect hand of Force blue card and whatever, this is still a super tight situation. Mox Opal is the get with Urza Saga. Okay. If they have Shadow Spear, they have to play it from hand. Oh, Mishra's Bauble is your spell for the turn. Okay. Now I'm just free to ride. They attack with everything. I can block. Just the Construct. I mean, clearing that out's not the worst. The Hull Breacher is a little scarier, but your spell from the turn is cast. Let me just clear this thing out, keep all my creatures. Going into the throne. We could sack this to draw a card with Sai, or take the 6 life. Okay, Throne of the Dead 3. Let's make it happen. Archon of Emir is Seasoned Dungeoneer Solitude. Do I want Solitude to clear the Hull Breacher, or Seasoned Dungeoneer to keep moving this thing forward? Protection from creatures, pretty big game. I think I want the pro creatures here. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Protection from creatures with the Psy going on is a big deal. Regardless Plains, and I haven't cast a spell yet this turn. Cavern, not exciting. I'm going to attack with Peacekeeper and Skeleton. Skeleton will get a good trade if they block it, and Peacekeeper has protection. Archon, not where I want to be. No, I'll put that in the graveyard. Leaving back my Archon, so the Thopter can't poke and steal my initiative. Okay. Skeleton's getting a big trade that I was looking for, clearing the Hull Breacher and the flying creature, the one thing they have with evasion. I'm going to Cavern on Human. Investing in the future. And pass the turn. So I'm not doing much here. Bobbled me in the end step. Alright, go nuts. What's happening? Archon's still in play. Hull Breacher's answered. Archon's also stopping Psy from just going nuts and stabilizing the board. They're also just dead to my unblockable 8-power attacker next turn. We got the GGs in the chat. Trophy Town, population us. First trophy on camera in a while, and it's with this stupid deck. Yeah, this thing was crazy. It was just a relentless pummeling of disruption and initiative creatures. Having the 4 additional initiative creatures in the deck, especially one that draws cards if it stays in play, just keeps the gas flowing. Really, the way to beat white initiative is to stop the first 1 or 2 initiative things and then stabilize the board while they're floundering. And this deck doesn't really flounder. In the way it flounders is if you attack its mana. The mana is pretty rough. We mulligan some hands because it just didn't make white, or we had to make weird decisions in order to get red, or name a weird thing with Cavern of Souls. That all came up a little bit. We lost games here and there to Timely Wastelands. All that stuff, that's how you attack this deck, where it's a lot weaker than the mono white. But once you have 4 mana under you and you're casting spells, this just never stops smashing. I hope this was a fun look into the future of what these Mox Diamond initiative decks are going to look like once White Bloom Adventure is gone. We were doing plenty of cool stuff on 3, Archon of Emir, Anointed Peacekeeper, just replace White Bloom Adventure with Elite Spellbinder, and this deck is largely still functional, a little slower. Or replace it with Over Dark Explorer, Under Dark Explorer. I don't know. The green initiative creature that's not on Moto yet. This deck plays, cannot be denied. Initiative is powerful. Even a smooth brain control wizard like myself could figure out how to sequence the lands and spells enough to trophy a league with this one. And that's saying something. Brendan, thank you for the chance to play Naya Initiative. Everybody else, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon and all the other stuff that supports the channel in the video description, and I'll see you next time.